Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 12 of the F224 Andrea Kimi Antonelli career mode. Yes, we're back once again here in Baku, ready for the feature race. There are just 2 points in it between ourselves and Paul Aaron in the championship right now, and just 5 races left of the campaign. Of course, if you're new, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. I believe as well, unless I've messed this up, today is actually the final race of the 2024 F2 and F1 season. Unfortunately, I'm recording this in October, so I couldn't tell you whether there's a title fight going down to the wire or anything like that. But yeah, the F2 finale might have already happened. It might be later on today. It depends what time I schedule this video for. But yeah, it's a little bit weird what we've done with the channel in recent weeks. But we line up P2 behind our teammate Ollie Behrman, ready for the feature race today. Prema, we have looked unstoppable this weekend. So our teammate Behrman, I think, will be looking to try and close in points on your top 2 competitors.
Baku never fails to disappoint fans of Formula 2, so hold on tight. The cars are set on the grid and any moment we'll be starting today's race. Welcome to Azerbaijan. This is not your usual racing circuit. It provides one of the most complete tests for the field. Sector 1 sports a set of 90-degree corners around the block, if you like. Sector 2 gets even tighter with the old city walls. Sector 3 just turns 16 to negotiate, and then 2.2 kilometers flat to the floor, full throttle in 6th gear all the way to the end. We are nearly ready for the start of today's race, but in the meantime, let's take a look at the grid. Ollie Behrman lines up on pole position,
with Andrea Kimi Antonelli alongside.
Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Pepe Marti, Ritomo Miata, Cordial,
Colapinto,
Hajar, Maloney,
Zach O'Sullivan,
Miney, Correa, Gabriel Bortoletto, Roman Stanek,
Villa Gomez,
Aaron, Fittipaldi,
Taylor Barnard,
Martins, Verschoor, Crawford, and Dennis Hauger completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down.
Well, here we are then, ready for the feature race here in Baku, and for the first time, yes, since right at the beginning of the season, we have got the opportunity to take the lead of the Drivers' Championship. I don't actually believe we ever led in the end. I think we were tied with Paul Aaron early on in the campaign, but I don't think we were ever actually classified in P1 by virtue of him winning more feature races. If you're wondering, that is how a tiebreaker is decided in FIA Formula 2. But again, we're going to be starting this one on the super soft tyres, then we'll move over to the mediums later on. Now, Ollie Behrman helped me out last weekend. He went over to the mediums after I did, so he had the bot strategy. So I'm going to take that myself this weekend. We'll try and give our teammate a little bit of a fairer shot. And I'm going to try and make sure I keep doing that to keep things even within the Prema team, because of course it's a little bit unfair that I just get priority every single weekend, and hopefully that is going to allow our teammate as well to get some big points. Prema, we do have a chance to wrap up the Constructors' Championship today. It is 5 red lights down on the grid, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go there. And Ollie Behrman not getting off to a particular good getaway. We're going to try and have a look down the inside of our teammate in towards turn 1. Whoa! And Dirksen has just come in like a torpedo. What on earth was that? And we got a red flag, of course we do. Well, I'll be honest, I mean, we broke a little bit early there to make sure I didn't run into my teammate, but Joshua Dirksen, we just saw that proximity arrow absolutely flying at the very last moment there. And yeah, the Paraguayan driver...
So let's think very carefully about our strategy for the rest of this race.
Yeah, the Paraguayan driver there, not really giving us much chance to do anything, just completely turned me around. Somehow he got through it without issue. And, well, I guess, again, for the second time in 2 weekends, we got a red flag down at the first corner.
Deja vu here, but there's a good opportunity to get this start spot on. Come on.
Well, how on earth he's not got a penalty for that, I will never know. It's 5 red lights once again, though. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go. As this time around, Amri Cordial, in the second of the high-techs, will get the start down in towards turn 1, and will immediately move up into P1 then. We've got someone a little bit further back breaking down off this restart. I believe that, whoa, is one of the AIX cars. And it looks to be Taylor Barnard then that is out of the GP very early on, as we are just vulnerable to everybody. Mark, please stop telling me that. I don't care. But yeah, we've got to be really, really careful on lap 1. We always struggle to try and get heat into the tyres. And yeah, you can already see Dirksen, Cordial, and our teammate Behrman running away. Oh, at the front of the order there. Come on, what on earth's going on with this car? Why are the tyres so badly worn as well? Why are they already up over 30% wear? That is very, very peculiar. Mark, I know. Please stop telling me. Oh no, I think we've got a glitch. I think we might have a glitch here. I think let me just double check. I think we've got the weird bug where sometimes the game controls your throttle, almost like we're under a delta or something like that. Maybe it's not. Maybe it was just the turbo lag being a little bit peculiar, but yeah, this definitely... Oh yeah, no, you can see there, it just clipped out slightly. We might be in big trouble. I can't remember how you got to fix this as well. I don't know whether it's a rewind or something like that. Yeah, it's definitely... I did not live there through the final chicane. Let me just see if I can fix this. Well, there we go then. Let's try and see as we make our way through the final chicane this time around. There we go. That has fixed that bug. Yeah, thanks, Mark. We don't need to keep hearing you telling us that as well, mate. But yeah, this has really, really cost us, actually, early on in the race. We've got a 3-second gap already to your top three there as Behrman, new fastest lap of the race. So, we'll try... What on earth? Great, thanks for that, Miata. And now we've got front wing damage as well. Try to get past as soon as possible. I mean, this is just peak Formula 2, isn't it, right now? And I think what we're going to try and do then is cut our losses and maybe dive into the pit lane at the end of this lap then. Just try and work our way back into this race a bit later on. But I know we've got good pace in the car. But I think Miata as well, they're just struggling a little bit. But yeah, for some reason, we've just had no grip off the start. These super soft tyres are not working for me. So maybe Prema have completely set up the car for the harder option. But yeah, I mean, even with a fair bit of front wing damage, this car's not bad through the corners. If everybody else's tyres are as wrecked as ours, then I think what it does is it simulates those 2 laps under a red flag. And really, really badly in terms of tyre usage. Because yeah, I would just absolutely just kind of hootle around the circuit there. As Miata's already lost 3 seconds to us on this lap. So I think he's going to have to dive into the pit lane as well. Behrman out in front of the order. And I mean, well, for him now, with us down the order, with Paul Aaron as well in trouble. That was not the pit entry I needed. Yeah, Ollie Behrman has suddenly got a huge chance to bring himself closer to that fight as well. I have no idea how we survived that pit lane entry. As Miata also will peel in. New front wing going on the wagon, though. It's going to be a very slow stop because you've got to do that and then put the tyres on. And as you can see, that is going to be a 13-second pit stop. We are a long way back now, and ideally for us, we're going to need a safety car or a red flag or something to try and bring us back into this race. That being said, though, we have had good pace in the car all weekend, especially on the mediums. Let's just try and stay out of trouble. The gap to Victor Martins, about 26 seconds, I believe. Just double check that. The delta's not working. There we go. Yeah, about 26. So let's see if we can close that in. So we got yellow flags out. That's why the gap wasn't working. Victor Martins, I think, is out of this. What on earth has happened to the ART man? He is just parked at the side of the road. Well, as I can read it then, I think Joshua Dirksen has actually caused a lot of problems with that turn 1 incident. Because like I said, I think the game simulates the tyre wear for everybody else. I mean, this lap alone, we've got near enough 3 seconds clear of Jack Crawford. So I think everybody else is on a wrecked set of the super soft tyre. I mean, we are just claiming time back. Of course, we lost nearly 10 seconds alone getting the new front wing on. So we're still probably going to be right towards the rear of the field when the AI pit. But yeah, this is utterly bizarre. I mean, what it is a Baku F2 race. Weird, you can't make sense of it, and you won't really know what's going on until the checkered flag. Here we go, this is exactly what we need. New fastest lap of the day. I mean, if I was on the Prema pit wall, I'd be looking at our lap times here and just trying to actually get Ollie Behrman into the pit slightly early. Still quicker than Miata as well, which I guess is good news, because he's the only one that we can really compare ourselves to. But yeah, I would assume we're going to see cars into the pits at the end of this lap. Hopefully Ollie Behrman will be one of them. We've got yellows again. I think that might be Enzo Fittipaldi. And the Van Amersfoort driver. Again, it has been a season to forget for the Brazilian.
Come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
Can't see. Oh, there we go. There's that stricken Van Amersfoort car as... Oh, looks like our teammate hasn't opted to pit, but another one out of this race. And then we are up at a P18. There we go. Our front runners then all peeling into the pit lane. Ollie Behrman, Joshua Dirksen, Amri Cordeal. So we're still probably going to be... Well, I'd be staggered if we're not out behind them. But yeah, we have made up most of the time we lost by having a pit for that new front wing as well. The gap to Jack Crawford now was 14 seconds before he pit. Looks like we've got a lot of teams that maybe have double stacked as well here, as Behrman, I think, is going to be back out at the front of the order. So we might actually still end up inside the points in this race as we make our way back down towards turn 1. Another new fastest lap. Just improving by a few hundredths. Whoa, nicked the wall on the outside of turn 1 though. But yeah, look at that. We're straight back up at a 10th. And there's still a few more cars that need to pit. There we go, a handful of runners then into the pit lane. So I think we're going to be up into 6th spot then of this race late on. Don't know who it is still that was yet to pit. Kushmini, Richard Shaw. Oh, there we go, Paul Aaron as well. So at least we know where he is in the bigger picture in this one. And the answer to that is simply not in the points. We've taken a bit of time out of Colapinto on that last lap. I was more expecting actually for the AI behind to close in on us. But I think if Correa and Miata kind of get caught up battling with each other towards the end, hopefully we can try and set our sights forward and maybe just claim a couple of extra points. I mean, with this result though, you've got to be looking at Ollie Behrman. He's going to leapfrog his way right back into the fight if he's able to walk away with the victory. Oh no, Zach O'Sullivan, he's taken my fastest lap point. Again, you never know. That could be useful by the end of the campaign there, but I don't think we're going to reclaim that fastest lap. Of course, all of those runners have got the DRS, so that would explain they're probably making up at least half a second on me down that front straight. But yeah, the gap to Franco Colapinto is still coming down. Not convinced it's coming down by enough, but if we can somehow work this and get inside that range... Well, that is good news, because I was a little bit nervous about how these tyres are going to be towards the end of this. And more importantly as well, the gap behind to Correa is staying pretty level. But as the fuel burns off towards the end of the afternoon, our teammate Ollie Behrman knows what's at stake here. If he sensibly wants a shot at the crown, he has got to try and win this race. And at the moment, he is stuck battling with Joshua Dirksen and Amri Cordeal, two drivers who I'm sure would love to try and get a feature race win on the board there, as we are still flying along, still setting personal bests late on in the day. I mean, the gap now to Colapinto down to just 3 seconds, but I'm wondering if those top 3 really bunch up on each other, is that going to provide us with an opportunity, or is it just going to allow Pepe Marti and Colapinto to gain a bit of extra time on me, that then makes it impossible for us to really get a look in? But it really does feel like every car inside your top 6 seems to be quicker than the one in front of them here. We're closing in on Colapinto. He's closing in on Pepe Marti, as that is not the line I need through the castle. That could have been a bad moment for us. But I'll try and make sure we get this car to the flag. I think it is still, yeah, Amri Cordeal that leads this one. You surely expect Joshua Dirksen with that straight line speed to be able to do something. But Behrman now just waiting in the wings. Has he got enough? Or is he just, just holding back, seeing what happens, and picking his moment to go for it? As the AI then ran their way through the final corner, Ollie Behrman, I'm not convinced he's got enough right towards the end of this. I'm still pushing on, as we have done in the last couple of races, just to see if we can try and claim that fastest lap bonus point again. And I reckon if we nail it, there is pace in this car to try and claim that here. But look at that Dirksen. He just cannot get close enough to Amri Cordeal by the time they get down towards turn 1 there. And unless he wants to go for a late dive or something, he's not really going to get a shot. I believe that last lap we were about a 10th out from fastest there. We have just been slowly improving like we did at Monza last weekend. But we're going to have to really, really nail this final one if I want to try and get that bonus point. Like I've said, especially down in P6, on the one hand, I think we could be pretty happy with how this race has ended up going based on the first few laps, but on the other hand, still feels like an opportunity to claim a victory has gone begging this weekend. And if you exclude the 10 seconds for the front wing change, well, we've had the pace of the field. Admittedly, yeah, all of the AI were on a bot strategy, trying to take those super soft tyres way further than they ever should have. They're green through Sector 1. If we could somehow get in the DRS range of Colapinto by the time we get round to the end of the lap, that could be the difference maker here, as we are closing in rapidly on both him and Pepe Marti. I've got no idea what's happened to the Campos man towards the end of this, but his pace just seems to have absolutely fallen apart there, as we do get within the 1 second of Franco Colapinto here. So our pace, as everybody else's, has fallen off. No wonder this Prema has looked so quick all weekend. We're on older tyres, and we're still seemingly able to go quicker than a lot of our rivals. It's a shame for our teammate, though, Ollie Behrman, who just doesn't seem to be able to utilise this extra pace at the moment as we throw the car over the curbs through the final couple of corners. I don't think we're going to get close enough to Colapinto, especially when he's still got the DRS of Pepe Marti in front of him. But is this going to be enough with that extra bit of speed towards the start-finish line to reclaim the fastest lap bonus point? Amaury Cordial, is he a feature race winner here in Baku? Ollie Behrman P3, we come through for P6.
Great drive, rewarded in victory for Amaury Cordial.
They've clawed their way up the field there, and the fans love to see it. It's absolutely no surprise they've managed to win the race with that level of overtaking.
And as they make their way down to the podium, there's no denying the strength of the Fanatec GP team. It was an incredible performance today, and they fully deserve to stand on the top step.
Well, that might be the most cursed thing you ever see in F124. Amaury Cordial, a feature race winner. But yeah, I'll tell you what, him and Hitech seem to have found something late on in this campaign, because it just really made the difference there. Joshua Dirksen in P2, your top 3 for the second time this weekend, covered by less than a second there. Pepe Marti in 4th, ahead of Colapinto and ourselves there, with Maloney, Correa, Bortoletto and Zach O'Sullivan rounding out your point scorers. Miata, he couldn't hang on to his tyres towards the end of that one, down in P13. Paul Aaron only good enough for 15th place in the end. A weekend to forget for the Estonian. But what does that do to our championship? Well, it does mean now we've got a 7-point lead at the top of the table, and next time out in Qatar, if Behrman can take, I think it's 1 point or more out of me, then he will go into the Abu Dhabi weekend, theoretically, with a shot at the World Championship there. I believe now it is officially just a 3-car race, though. 39 points available a weekend. So Gabriel Bortoletto, I think even if he dominated everything, wouldn't win it based on countback there. And we'd only need to score 1 point to knock him out of the fight anyway. Pepe Marti is mathematically out of it, down in P5. Constructors-wise as well, though, Prema, we definitely haven't wrapped up the Constructors there, but hopefully we will do next weekend in Qatar there. An 89-point buffer over Hitech. I believe it is just between us and them now as we head into the final 2 rounds of the season. It is all still to play for, though, between ourselves, Paul Aaron and Ollie Behrman. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 2 returns ready in Qatar.